It was so in high school. It was funny. Harvard came to a practice that Yale was already recruiting at, and they looked at each other across the sideline because I'm in South Georgia, Blackshear, Georgia. Like they don't go down there, and they said they looked at each other like, right here, not you. So it's funny to say that. But.
I got to tell Al back to the club. When did he get you that Stetson hat endorsement deal, by the way?
I hope it does.
I can't believe you were a chat to. Well, like you
So are you wearing Tom Ford? Is that what that is?
Yeah. So thank you, CJ.
How'd you go about picking out the seat?
I drove to Atlanta. It was late, and I was like, well, I need a suit for this thing, and I want to look nice because it's the Heisman Trophy. And so I drove up there, thought it was going to be like a quick wedding tux, sizing. No, it took a lot longer, and so got that done and just picked it out, just black. I like this tie.
What's your major? What are you studying at Georgia?
Economics.
Okay, that's my major at Columbia back in the day. Grad school after the NFL, those ones, that's MBA, law, and...
Probably not MBA. I'm tired of math.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm done with math. I like econ for the thought of it, not.
It's supply and demand, marginal revenue is going to be bigger than marginal cost, and more limited marginal returns. Everybody else is used to fill up textbooks.
That's right.
There you go. Thanks, Stetson.
Stetson, you've had essentially a day since we last talked to you. Just what has the last 24 hours been like? What's been some of the highlights for you and you?
The highlight was probably seeing. We went to the edge and got to just see this view, which I don't know. I love. It's New York, and you can see the whole thing from up there, and I think it's so cool. So that was probably the coolest thing. Last night, my cousin got in. We just walked around Times Square, and then just hung out today. Really, kind of laid down just because this is going to be such a big night. So.
What are you sort of expecting in the next couple hours, just as far as the experience?
I don't know. I do better when I just let things happen and take them for what they are. So I'm trying not to have really any expectations and just see it. I know it's going to be an awesome show. We kind of walked through it earlier, so it's going to be pretty cool.
Stetson, you went from walk-on national championship, now Heisman finalist. What piece of advice would you give to someone who's kind of trying to walk into a culture?
You gotta, if you're not good enough now, and you better hit a growth spurt or some freaky physical trait, or you better be curious and you better start learning and just work every single day, because that's what it's going to take. As much as you might think you are now, you're not good enough yet, and you might be close, but you're not yet, and you just got to keep chasing that every day.
Stetson, like you talked about up there, you've overcome a lot of odds against you at Georgia. What would you tell somebody else who may be seeing those odds today to overcome them to be in a position you are in?
Say if somebody wanted to walk on in a program?
Yes, but also challenges of depth chart issues, and then you gotta wait for your opportunity like you.
Yeah, well then just patience and really just patience and continue to get better. It's a long road, but if that's what you want, then that's what you sign up for. If not, then it probably won't work out. So you got to know what you're signing up for before you sign up for it.
Stetson, you talked about it a little bit yesterday about trying to get to know these other finalists. What has it sort of been like, and have you had a chance to spend much time with them yesterday?
Not as much outside of the Heisman. And when we're in here, it's hustle bustle and go here now, go here. It's such well organized machine. But we'll catch little jokes and guys will be talking. But mainly outside of this, I've been hanging out with my family, just walking around, seeing people.
What's that been like to have the family here?
Oh, it's been awesome. It's been really cool. I think some of my buddies they're coming up, and I don't think they're going to the ceremony, but they're just coming up so we can hang out afterwards. So that'll be cool.
It was SantaCon today. Did you see?
I heard that. I
Okay.
was a little bit sad.
Didn't see
you know.
any. Have you been in a Santa Claus outfit your entire life?
Have I ever been?
Have you been Santa Stetson for like?
No. But that is a goal of mine to get big and fat one day. Dress up as Santa Claus.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's not, you don't want to, trust me, you don't want to be that big. It's not fun. The list of Georgia quarterbacks that have won a national championship is small. The list that have been a Heisman finalist, I think it's just you. Obviously, it's a loaded question and you're not done yet, but what do you want your legacy to be when you look back on your time at Georgia?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll let the authors and the poets. I don't know. That's. I just hope to give them good material.
If he's asking a Santa question, I want to ask you about A.D. Mitchell. What do you expect from him in the playoff?
Well, we're not. Me and Five got to get back. We got to get back to being us, and so that starts whenever I get back on Monday. And so that's what we're worried about practice now, not the playoff yet. We'll get to that later.
What's the most challenging thing about getting ready for someone y'all have never played before? I mean, you got Ohio State now, however long. You've got all of Christmas to think about it. How does that work?
Well, I don't think it's so much like programs not meeting that much. I think it's like skiing. Like, do they play similar to what we've seen? Like think about Oregon. We hadn't really played them that often, but we knew the scheme, we knew what it looked like, and that turned out, we played well that game. So it'll be about the scheme. They do have some funky things. I hadn't watched, severe amount yet, but I've seen some things. And I'm like, all right, that's different. And it's when you get out there and it's different, when you're unsure, that's when it's like,
So from what you've seen, who do you think they play most like Ohio State, that is?
Oh, I haven't watched that much.
Do you think about games like in private time when you're just like chilling out, or maybe even on Christmas Day or whatever? Do you try to avoid thinking about it, or do you think about it and it just happens?
Games that will happen or games
Correct,
that have
that will
happened?
happen.
Okay. No, like the further we are away from the game, I let it happen. I try to think about it all. Because I can catch up on sleep or whatever later in the week. The closer it gets to the game, I shut it off because I trust. Coach Smart says, what's he say? Sleep during the storm because you're prepared. Sleep during the winter. I don't know which one he says, but it's the same concept.
Sleep at some point.
Sleep when it's going rough because you prepared for the rough times when they were good times.
How did you have time to watch Ohio State film this week? You've been pretty busy.
No, this was when did I leave to come up here? Friday, so Thursday night.
Why do you love football?
It's almost like a painting. Like I don't know. It's artistic. It's beautiful. I don't know. It's never the same. You never know what's going to happen. But you got these concrete rules that produce who knows what, right? And that's exciting. I don't know. I enjoy it, and it keeps me involved.
Stetson, when you gave that speech at the Girls' Awards, it seemed like it was a pretty emotional for you. Just why did it mean quite so much to be able to win that?
Well, I didn't plan on it being emotional, but then I got up there and I started thinking about what I was going to say, which I'd already thought about it, but not actually said it in front of people. And it was, I put myself in, Brandon's shoes for that moment, and I guess kind of in a weird way could look back at my story better than if I just look at my story. And so, I guess that's